Today at 3, an update on Lexington's first homicide of the year, what we're now learning about the victim. Plus, how city and community leaders are reacting to the violence with the rollout of a grant to help support youth. And lawmakers are reconvening for part 2 of the legislative session. We'll take you out to Frankfort for the very latest.
I'm Chief Meteorologist TJ Shuck. Feeling like spring out there despite a good bit of cloud cover this afternoon. Winds have really picked up, gusts over 30 miles per hour, pushing temperatures into the mid-60s. The mild air along with the wind stick around for the midweek. Your Storm Team forecast is on the way.
Good afternoon, Kentucky. ABC 36 News at 3 starts now.
Good afternoon, Kentucky. I'm Erica Bivens. Thanks for joining us. We're learning more about Lexington's first homicide of the year. A man killed last night has now been identified. In our top story today at 3, ABC 36's Anna Medina joins us live from the Lexington Police Department headquarters downtown with more on what we're learning along with reaction from city leaders. Anna?
Now, last night's murder marked the first homicide for the city of Lexington. The mayor noting that the city went 38 days without having one. Now, last year they broke the record, finishing with 39. The Fayette County coroner identifying the victim in last night's shooting as 24-year-old Marquis Antonio Tompkins, Jr. of Lexington. Police say officers responded to Toner Street just before 7 last night near West 6th Street, where a man was found shot inside a car. He was pronounced dead at the scene. City and community leaders gathering this morning to address the gun violence as well as the family and what's next.
And it really hurts your heart to lose not only a child but a grandchild. And so I know that Divine Karama and One Lexington have already connected with her, and we'll do our due diligence to help her work through some scenarios for helping that family.
A lot of people the last couple of days were talking about how we hadn't had a homicide in the longest stretch in 10 years. But for me, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter if it's one homicide or 45. It doesn't matter how long in between. It's a live loss and a family impacted. So for us, and I think Kenneth would agree, we felt hurt. We felt pain, and it informed the work moving forward. So we're just going to keep working.
Now, no suspect information has been shared at this time. Lexington police say if you have any information, you should reach out to the department. You can also submit a tip anonymously through Bluegrass Crime Stoppers. Now, coming up at 5 o'clock, I'll tell you how the city continues to curb its gun violence problem. Live in Lexington, Anna Medina, ABC 36 News.
Well, meantime, city leaders in Lexington have announced the first ever violence prevention grants for schools in Fayette County. Mayor Linda Gordon says the grants will benefit 16 public schools to help provide support to youth in the community. One Lexington, in partnership with the Community Action Council, is also providing grants to community partners involved in violence prevention. The $500 and $1,000 One Lexington grants will be given to the Family Resource and Youth Services Center, which offers family support programs to help children who encounter barriers to educational success. The centers provide support in basic needs, school attendance, social skills, and also crisis response.
With these collaborative efforts, partnering with Fayette County Public Schools, Frisky, things like that, that allows us to really focus on what are the root causes and how can we affect that so that we're not seeing as many situations as we are seeing in our communities.
The city has allocated $50,000 to support the gun violence prevention grant program. Community recipients will receive up to $7,500. Applications are assessed by the Community Action Council and are expected to be awarded later this month. You can view all the schools set to receive grant funding by going to our website, WTVQ.com. That's the weather now with our Chief Meteorologist TJ Shuck. Feeling pretty springy out there today.
Yeah, you think so? Especially with that wind picking up this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
We did manage to see a little bit of sunshine poking out from time to time. Really, as it got deeper yesterday, looking at some of the data, didn't really expect much in the way of rainfall today. It appeared it was going to stay off to our north. Nice sunrise, Adam Vessels, Central Kentucky, right at daybreak. And we've seen a mix of clouds and sunshine, more clouds now than sun. And just north of I-64 in southern Indiana and running up towards Cincinnati. A few little spotty showers along a weakening frontal boundary here, and that is going to slowly sink down into central Kentucky and kind of put on the brakes during the overnight hours. So I think the best shot for organized rain, at least scattered rain, will be here in the bluegrass. You folks southern southeast Kentucky, you should be in pretty good shape staying dry into the day tomorrow. Bluegrass Pace Care, Skyview HD Camera Network, Hicks and Funston Cam checking out Hamburg. They're doing a little workout at the ASOS out at Bluegrass Airport. So temperature readings coming in, but not wind and conditions, but obviously it's cloudy. It's 64. Winds have been gusting over 30 miles per hour at times. So check this out. This is a good solid 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. This would really feel more like early April instead of early February. Back to the northwest, well north of the boundary, there's a little bit cooler air, but we are going to continue to stay pretty moderate. I think we'll make a run down into the mid-40s, especially Lexington northward. And then tomorrow, occasional showers, upper 50s. And then we're actually going to rise with our temperatures overnight. So when you wake up into Thursday morning, we'll be in the low 60s, but a lot of wind expected Wednesday night. We could have 40, 45 mile per hour gusts, so the windows rattling then as well. So as we go through the rest of the week, again, spring-like weather continues. More on that in the 7-day coming up.
Now to Frankfort, where lawmakers have reconvened for the legislative session after about a month-long break. ABC 36's Maddie McQueen joins us live from Frankfort with more on the discussion. And Maddie, they actually just gavelled in about an hour ago.
Yeah, that's right. The Kentucky lawmakers are back in session for the first time since January 6th, and they gavelled in around 2 p.m. Some big issues around the agenda to be discussed before session wraps on March 30th. Some items include pay raises and loan forgiveness for teachers and school staff and medical marijuana. State senators have until February 21st to file new bills, and state representatives have until February 22nd. We'll have an update on what's being discussed in the state Senate tonight at 5. For now, live in Frankfort, Maddie McQueen, ABC 36 News.
Also at the state capitol, the House Standing Committee on Education meeting earlier today to talk about the ongoing teacher shortage. Commissioner Jason Glass says it's an issue of teachers leaving, and it's not just impacting Kentucky. Glass says while the turnover rate for teachers last school year was about 15 to 16% nationwide, Kentucky came in at about 20%. Glass says it's negatively affecting education for students, since many times teachers who fill in aren't certified. He says this forces districts to be less choosy in hiring teachers, relying on emergency certifications to fill open positions. Glass says the Department of Education approved 383 emergency certifications in the 2017-2018 school year. This past school year, the department approved more than 1,000. He says the lack of teachers is due to 3 things: pay, support, and respect. However, some lawmakers say they believe it's a different issue.
So my message today is this to you, Commissioner Glass. I think that you all need to step back and take a deep dive and a deep look at the classrooms across the state of Kentucky and find out what the real issues are.
Commissioner Glass says there are about 1,000 teacher vacancies right now for certified teachers. That does not include substitute teachers. He also says there are no quick fixes to the issue. Still ahead, we'll talk to the owner of a small business in Lexington about food for the big game and her newest location. Plus, still no word on when evacuated residents in a small town in Ohio will be able to return home after that massive train derailment last week.
Well, the combination of some filtered sunshine to go along with strong winds and the lack of rain pushing our temperatures all the way into the mid-60s. And it looks like temperatures will stay above the curve much of the rest of the week. Your Storm Team forecast is on the way.